Hey everybody, it's JB from Live Exceptional, and I'm super excited to be here with a very, very good friend of mine, Katie Phillips. She is in Sussex. She is coming to me. We're in two totally different time zones, but we're making it work because we are exceptional. Good morning and good evening to you. How's it going?
Hello, my darling. I am awesome. Thank you. Yeah, good to be with you.
Super great to have Katie because today is World Menopause Day, and Katie is spearheading and captivating an audience of exciting information about what's going on here. You know, I'm not yet into menopause or perimenopause as far as I know, so I'm going to have to lean on you a little and to get you to tell me more about what's happening this day. Tell us about what you're doing.
Yeah. So it's really, because we were just chatting before we came on, and it's funny, isn't it? How, I never knew. Once upon a time I was, the good corporate girl, and I didn't know that I would end up going on to writing a personal development book and becoming a coach and living in that kind of woo-woo land that I once upon a time would have been so cynical of, actually. Let alone here I am suddenly kind of an advocate for opening up the conversation around perimenopause and menopause. Who knew that I would ever be having that conversation at the very young age of 44? I still can't quite get my head around the fact that I'm in perimenopause. And earlier this year, when I was 43 and realized I was in perimenopause, I didn't even know what perimenopause was. And it like hadn't.
I think that's going to be the situation right now today. Like, a lot of people are going to say, hey, JB, Katie, what is this? A lot of women are going to be asking, okay, how does this tie into Live Exceptional? And how does this tie into today? And so we're going to be really cool about putting a big bow on that and sharing it with you. So tell us more about those of us who don't know.
Well, yeah, menopause needs a total rebrand, because most of us women, let me speak for myself first, but having spoken to a lot of women, I'm starting to see that, like, I'm not alone in this. We think that menopause happens when we're kind of somewhere in our 50s. And we think that it's kind of the end of the road and the end of our feeling attractive and the end of our sex life, and we become this sort of kind of whingy, moody old woman, and that we kind of think our youthfulness is over. And it's not true. And earlier this year, when I discovered that I was moving into perimenopause, and I probably had been in perimenopause for a while, all I knew at the time was I had really terrible cystic acne had begun on my skin. I was having night sweats. I was feeling really moody. And the worst thing was my mood was going really low, like towards depression, which was really scary. So I had all these weird things going on, but I was quite newly in love. My business was going well. Life was good. And I didn't understand why I felt so shit and looked so shit until someone said to me, oh, maybe it's not individual things. Maybe it's all one thing, and maybe it's perimenopause. And I went, peri what? And what are you talking about? I'm 43. Like, don't talk to me about menopause. And that's the thing. We're not talking about it. And there's this big stigma about it. And we're actually ashamed of something that's the most natural thing in a woman's life. And when I heard you have perimenopause, you're in perimenopause, I felt worse, because I thought, oh my God, oh, well, that's the end. Like, that's it. Give up now, And I felt scared. And that was a terrible place to be. And then I realized, well, hold on, I'm a transformational coach. I'm a self-love coach. I don't do conditioning. I challenge belief systems. I challenge perceptions. I challenge the way we look at the world. If it's not working for me, if it doesn't feel good for me, I'm going to challenge it. And I'm going to turn it on its head and flip it into having a view of it that has me feel better.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm totally leaning in, because just recently getting married and sort of in the bliss of a new relationship, I actually tease Peter sometimes and say, like, well, enjoy it before I go into menopause, or you never know, or, I'm so glad you love me now, because wait till I'm in menopause, or things like that. Again,
but that's the thing.
Stigma.
It is stigma. And then we get what we think about. Like, we create what we believe. And while we're believing, when I hit menopause, I'm going to be a moody old cow and I'm going to lose my lust for life, and lust for you, dear husband, you know, like when it's all over, then, and so that's what we're creating, because we haven't challenged it. We haven't considered it could be another way. So when I realized that, I suddenly felt, okay, I felt empowered, because I was giving my power away to belief systems that made me and many women ashamed of a very natural part of our life. And so I thought, no, I'm going to take my power back. What do I need to believe? What do I need to know? Okay, awareness is the first step to change. Clearly, I don't know anything about menopause, because I didn't even know that it actually could start in your 40s. And by the way, 43 is super normal. Like I'm not abnormal to have to start perimenopause at my age, which was interesting to know. And so I didn't go to my GP. I was actually interviewed by a journalist the other day, and she said, so what did you do first? You went to your GP? And I said, well, no, actually what I did, because I'm a little bit different, I reached out and ended up interviewing 18 experts from around the world on menopause. I was like, I'm going straight to the top, and I'm getting the best information from the best people.
Of course you are. There's nothing exceptional about that. I mean,
totally.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Absolutely.
I did. And of course, you know, life is always supporting us. The universe guides us when we're on purpose. And I was on purpose to start this rebrand of menopause. And so the universe just sent me. I mean, it took no effort. They came to me, all of these incredible women, desperate to be interviewed, to share the good news that menopause can actually be the beginning of the next chapter of your life, that you can do it in an empowered way, that yes, you're going to have massive hormonal shifts, which do impact you. But if you know about it, if you understand what's going on, there are ways of managing it that are actually really simple, like diet and nutrition and supplements and exercise. And for some people, hormone replacement therapy. And, you know, and so I interviewed all these experts, and the idea, I called it my menopause, because every woman's menopause is going to be different. And our hormones are always changing through the perimenopause years. And so we have to keep changing our plan around it as our hormones are shifting. It's not like a one size fits all for 10 years. It's going to always be shifting and changing. And to clarify, perimenopause is the period of time leading into achieving menopause. And you achieve menopause when you've not had a period for 12 months. So when you've not had a period for 12 months, you are now menopausal, and then you move into postmenopause. But all the time leading up to you not having had a period for 12 months consecutively is called perimenopause. And in that time, your estrogen levels essentially are dropping, and your body's going through all sorts of shifts and changes because you haven't got so much estrogen. And your estrogen levels are sort of going up and down, mostly down. And things are shifting. But we can support that. But who knew? I didn't know. I just thought I was going crazy and getting terrible depression.
Absolutely. I mean, you're not used to it. It's not something you think of. You put an age stigma on when that's happening. And so what were some of this? You said the symptoms were some acne, some night sweats, some difficult sleeping, moodiness, depression. And so what did you do to move through that, to move out of that?
Yeah. Well, do you know what shifted it massively for me was the awareness. Just understanding what was going on in my body really empowered me, because I thought that something out of my control was happening, and it was spiraling. It was happening really quick. It was that, you know, and again, you know, thoughts create things. So every day I was thinking, oh my God, I feel worse. Oh my God, I'm feeling more depressed. Oh God, my skin's got worse. And every day I was thinking that. And so I was creating more of that. And I was just sort of going down this rabbit hole. The second I realized what was happening and understood that it was completely normal, oh my God, I felt 10 times better. And then I was working with a menopause coach called Marion Stewart. She got me onto all the right supplements for me. A big game changer for me actually with my sleep was magnesium. I think every single woman in the world should be on magnesium when you're like over 35. Exercise, I mean, I'm already pretty good with my exercise, but my daily walking and yoga became a real non-negotiable, not just because I always knew that it was good for me, but it really supports me mentally, emotionally, and physically. See, this is the awesome thing. This is why menopause is actually a real opportunity for women. It's actually a time in your life when you actually get to stop and look at yourself, and your body is literally calling you to put you first. Your body is literally saying, come on, woman. For your whole life, you've probably put your career first, your kids first, your relationships first, your friends first, your parents first. You know, like you've been doing that. There's a bit of another conversation around that, because most people now going through perimenopause still have fairly young kids and elderly parents at the same time. So that's an extra pressure. It's kind of another conversation. But really your body is saying that you put everyone and everything first for so long. And now your body, I'm pleading with you to put me first, because if you're going to make it through the next half of your life, you're going to need amazing heart health. You're going to need strong bones. You know, you're going to need to learn to take care of yourself. And if you don't, this drop in estrogen is going to have a pretty nasty effect. So we have to.
It's really beautiful what you have shared. I mean, I'm just quiet because I'm really taking in a couple of things. I mean, first of all, you said you knew you were going down the rabbit hole, and then what you did, you did something about it, and you started to educate yourself, and you started to find answers. And I think that's a big key for a lot of people listening, is that when something happens to us and we don't know why, or we don't know how to solve it, instead of wallowing and going and getting worse and not finding a solution, the absolute key is to just say, what do I need to know? What do I need to learn? And not be upset that you don't know it, not judge yourself because you haven't learned it, but just get really curious about finding out. And the second thing that was so beautiful is that you said that it's time to take care of yourself. And I think that is so valuable, because you're right, as women, and that this age in our lives, we are still taking care of kids. We are still working. We are, even many of us are second career, third career, fourth career, just trying to make it, you know, now, because we're not swaddling babes and taking care of elderly parents, and we're not looking after ourselves. And what a beautiful way to reframe it. Instead of this is happening to me and it's like a detriment, how about this is happening to me to awaken me? How beautiful. Thank you for that.
It's happening for me.
You
know, it's happening and it's so natural. Like, we're really good now in our society. We are really great at speaking about periods, like girls getting their period, going through puberty. We're great at talking about pregnancy and childbirth. And then there's menopause. Why are we not talking about it? It's so natural. Why is it the white elephant in the room? And why are we women, as we age, ashamed of our age, when actually we have so much life experience and so much incredible wisdom to now impart? And when we're kind of dumbing ourselves down and muting ourselves because we believe we're old and therefore we have nothing to contribute anymore, like it's just not true. And so, yeah, you're right. We've got to challenge it. And
it's so true. We think that way. We do actually. We've been ingrained to have those beliefs. And wow, I love that you're at the forefront of pushing that, challenging that stigma. And you're right. We are talking about so many other things. I'm the first person to stand on a soapbox and talk about periods and menstruation and feeling powerful about your body. And yet, I too even have said, like, I don't want to think about that. I want to just keep that like over there. And I love how you have reframed it. You have reframed it in a beautiful, powerful way. You're right. We have so much wisdom as we become older and wiser as women, and so powerful. And so tell us, today is sort of World Day, and what can we do today specifically to honor this day?
World Menopause Day. Well, I've been sharing my story. I think sharing your story and just choosing to be open and speak with other women about it, I think that's key. I mean, I wouldn't have known I was in perimenopause if I hadn't been around a dinner table. I have a regular dinner called Daring and Mighty Dinners, where I invite women who I deem to be daring and mighty, and we have really amazing inspirational conversation. And I happened to be at one of those dinners, and I was speaking with a couple of women opposite me and I was opening up. I said, look, I've got the skin, I've got the sleep, I've got the da-da-da-da-da. And it was because I opened up to them about how I really felt. I was really honest with where I was at. I wasn't trying to, being a coach, I wasn't trying to be all perfect and I got life sussed all the time. Like, I was really having a tough time, and I opened up to them how tough it was. And it was through that conversation that they then said, one of them had been through menopause. And she said, well, hey, maybe maybe that's what's going on for you. And another one said, well, I'm going through something similar. And it was through women coming together, having real honest conversation. And today, there's been a lot of social media around this today, and there's a lot of, because I've been sharing my blog and some interviews I've done and so on through social media, it sparked conversations. And I can see women putting their hand up and going, oh my God, yeah, I thought I was going crazy. I didn't know XYZ, And so I think today it's really about just being honest and opening up and sharing your story. And, I know that through sharing my story, I'm inspiring other women to go get the support they need to make this part of their life more positive, rather than be, not having a clue. Like, I know through sharing my story today, women are waking up and going, oh, I didn't know that's what was going on for me. And that's a game changer.
Yeah, I'll put my hand up. I mean, I had, I really, again, hadn't really thought about it, just sort of felt like it was off there in the distance. I'm older than you. So, I mean, I'm closer to that possibly happening in my life. And I just love the way you have reframed it. And what you said was so important. It is valuable for us to be vulnerable and honest. We don't always have to have it all together, all perfect. And in fact, when we share those moments like you did, that's when the universe gives us these amazing angels and messengers to help us get to that next place. And what a beautiful gift. And so you are an angel to us today to share about this. I'm super grateful. And I will be reaching out to you in the future. That comes, when I feel those moments, because you've made it possible for me to feel safe to share, knowing that other women are talking about it. Why should we be embarrassed? Why should we be afraid? Let's be daring and mighty.
Let's be daring and mighty. And by the way, 25% of women don't get any symptoms at all. So 25% of women just kind of cruise through, which is, lucky them. That's awesome. They don't even realize it's going on. And for those other 75% that want to work out a strategy to manage their own menopause in a way that's perfect for them, because we're all totally different. Our perimenopause lasts for different periods of times with different side effects. What's the word? It's not side effects, is it? It's different symptoms. You have to make your own plan. And so I would really recommend the interview series I put together, because you can listen to nutritionists, HRT specialists, doctors, herbalists, spiritualists, you name it. They're all there, and you basically get to listen and pick and choose. I need a bit of that, I need a bit of that, I need to book in and see someone like that, and you can pick and choose. So it's a totally free resource. If you want, would you like me to share the link?
Please share. Absolutely, please share. Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, it's so you would go to theschoolofself.love/my-menopause.
Yeah, I will put the link on the bottom of this post so you can all get to it today or anytime. I think it's a fantastic series, and I'm looking forward to watching it, because even if, let's say, I've decided I'm going to be that 25% that just cruises through it, as you suggested, but there might be other things that I need to just be aware of that I haven't thought of, just for my overall general health. And I always say, if you don't have your health, and I tell moms this all the time, you've got to be in the best shape, in the best possible health you can be, because you're the lifeline for your kids. You got to be there for them. You've got to support them. And if you're not okay, they're not okay. And so our health, overall health, really, really matters. So I will put the link with everyone. Take a few minutes to tell us a little bit more about all the other exceptional things that you're doing. Katie is
one of those
people that has a multitude of talents and gifts. Tell us a little bit more.
Oh my God, I love you, JB.
With you.
I love you. Can you come be my PR agent? Oh my Lord. Always so much going on. I think what I'm most excited about at the minute is the Rise retreat that is happening, and there's still some places left, last week of November in Sri Lanka. And it really is a space. It's a transformational retreat. So it's a space for 10 women maximum to come and experience transformational coaching for the week with me, and some catharsis work and whatever comes up that we need to do, and secrets and surprises along the way. And, obviously daily yoga, incredible vegetarian food. We'll be doing some stand-up paddleboarding, bit of surfing. It's going to be fun. But the most
coming, I really do wish I was coming, and
I know it's going to be so good. But I mean, it's going to be deeply transformational.
Yeah.
And I'm really setting it up for women to focus on the next chapter of their life. So if you are in your 40s, 50s, and you're going through this menopausal change, while your body is actually asking you to learn how to put yourself first and figure out how you're going to make the best of part 2 of your life, then this is the retreat that really, it's like a reset. It's like, let's understand why you think and feel the pieces that you're feeling that aren't working for you, heal them, transform them, and then make a plan for moving forward. And that's really what this 7 days is going to be all about.
Fantastic. If you've never been on a retreat, I highly, highly recommend this one. I absolutely know without a doubt in all my heart that Katie will take so good care of you. What more beautiful place than to be in Sri Lanka? And again, if you are at this phase in your life, this is a fantastic opportunity to really, really do that self-care that you deserve. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to see all the pictures and hear about it. I'm actually going to put it in my mind to book myself for next year, because I think that would be absolutely a wonderful opportunity. Congratulations to you. Katie also got married just a few months ago, so we are blushing brides together.
We are.
Tell us a little bit more about your self-love and some of the work you've been doing with kids also.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned with kids. I'm actually not working with kids at the minute, apart from my own. When we were together in Barcelona, I was running the children's workshops around self-love. They were great, weren't they?
They were fantastic. I never forget it. I have the most amazing moment with Lydia in that workshop that still is with us.
Yeah, no, they're really special. And it's really interesting. So I'd always had this idea that I might like to work with children and take it beyond my own household. And those classes were brilliant and wonderful. And I came away feeling like I don't need to work with kids. I'm actually really good with women. I'm really, really good with adult women. So I'm going to keep that to my family. So the work I'm totally focused on, and that the School of Self-Love is focused on, is working with women who have a sense they don't really know who they are, and they certainly don't love that woman. They're on an emotional yo-yo. Their highs and lows are quite private though, and they're very much at home and expressed around the people they love most. So there's a bit of shame there that the people they love most aren't getting the best of them. And the thing is, most of the world doesn't know that's going on for them. From the outside looking in, they're like super successful, very high functioning, got it all going on, but really their experience of themselves privately isn't great. And they have a sense that they're not really on purpose. I mean, this is basically everything I'm saying right now is me, like 10, 15, 20 years ago. Okay. So I was this woman who was just I was the corporate good girl. I had a fantastic career and I was making good money and I was traveling the world and it all looked amazing. And I had the boyfriends and the adventures and but on the inside, I had this very powerful sense I didn't know who I was. And I didn't hate myself, but I didn't know who I was to love. And I didn't have self-compassion. I didn't have self-understanding. I didn't know how to take care of myself. And I was keeping up appearances in the world in a way that, I knew I was clever at certain things and I knew how to be good at my corporate career. And that ticked a lot of boxes, and, it ticks a lot of boxes for other people too. Like, it made sense to people that Katie was doing that job and living that life. But it wasn't really deeply, truly who I was. And I had this sense that I just somehow knew I was put on the planet to do something else and to be of higher service. And what I was doing wasn't it. And the way I was showing up in relationships was very unfulfilling, because how can you be in a really happy, successful, fulfilling relationship when you don't have a deeply personal, intimate, honest relationship with yourself? You're just not going to. So I went on a huge journey to,
So true. It's the key.
Yeah.
And I love how you spoke about it. If you'd like to reach out to Katie, I also will share the link that you can connect with her on a personal coaching level. I think we all teach what we need to learn. And I think once we passionately want to share it on with others. And if any of you resonated with what Katie spoke about, I think all women can. But if you're at a place where you'd really like to connect with her, you can always reach out to me personally and I can get the two of you in touch. I love what you're doing. And I love how you said, you know, you were working with kids and you got your fill, you got the message, and you knew that that was beautiful and amazing, and you got to move on. And again, for those of you listening, we don't always have to know it. We think we're like, have to make a decision and stick to it, and that's the one. And if we change, you know, people will think we're flaky or we don't know what we're doing. That's not true. There's this incredible meandering of exploration to find out what it is, and each layer you peel away at, you become closer and closer connected to your core self. So never be afraid to try something, give it a go, you know, touch people's lives. If you never ever worked again with kids, what you did for me and my child and the other kids in that room, and just that one moment was so miraculous. It was worth it.
Thank you. And that's what I took away from it as well. It was really interesting. I came away going, yeah, I'm not meant to work with kids. Like, that was great. And I've ticked a box I always wondered. And no, I'm really good with women.
So that being said, again, I love you with all my heart, and I want us to do something. Let's do something. Let's collaborate. Let's create something.
Yeah.
And for those of you listening, that's how it happens. That's how you build your billion-dollar brand. That's how you live exceptional. That's how you get what it is you want. You meet incredible people that you really resonate with, and then you just put it out there. Katie, let's do something together. Let's find another reason to work on a project.
Oh, darling, we know it's going to happen.
Exactly. Well, I want to say thank you and send hugs and kisses to you and your beloved. I really appreciate your message today. I'm going to take it fully to heart because I needed to hear that today. You were my angel. I'll share all of the links and information with you to get a hold of Katie. We thank you. Live exceptional. Have a beautiful day, and toodaloo. Awesome.